Alright, welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4 Millennium Dawn modded playthrough of Colombia. It's not Venezuela, it is Colombia. We're gonna get into it right now. So, Brazil has basically locked us in as far as guaranteeing independence of all our neighbors to stop our expansion. So, we're gonna have to take a little bit of time here to at least develop some sort of force structure that we can actually compete with them. Our main offensive forces could push this main section of a front, but we still need a defensive force here to hold the mountains and another offensive here to link up with our main force would be nice. Coming out of here towards Guyana. It looks like the Middle East is exploding in conflict too. So, from a military standpoint, if you want to look locally, then like blah 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 there, something along here and here. Those are our major front lines. I do want to declare either on Guyana or Ecuador for our expansion. So something like this. I would rather have Ecuador single-handedly targeted personally. So we're gonna work with that expectation that we are going to take out Ecuador going forward. We have set up our divisions so that we can have a ton of armies in those army groups. I'm gonna go ahead and move our main force off that front. So let's go ahead and line up. Yeah, I just want to see what our expenses supply-wise out here as far on our border as we can be. It's going to be hefty. We'll start taking unit attrition and other things. Yep. So I'm not worried necessarily about fighting a war if I could get supply to these units. I think even if I have significantly underwhelming forces, as long as I can get some more military factories to keep supply of goods going, I think I'd be fine. But there's a lot to do there. Stability is a little lower than I'd like. That's some high corruption still. But we are making a lot more money. So I can definitely work with this. We have to get all the way up to 50,000 GDP per capita. We're nowhere near that. It's probably easier to get to $4 trillion for our next research slot than it is to get to 50,000 GDP per capita. But we'll find out. We'll see if I'm right projecting that going forward. 7% energy. We need to work on we're just going to maintain building one nuclear power plant going forward the whole time. And we'll be fine there. Looks like we'll be able to do one factory, one nuclear power plant, and start developing some of our other stacks of civilian industry. We are going to keep the cartels involved, at least until 2020. Then we'll see what we want to do from that point on. Yeah, Brazil's going to be pretty mad they gave us money, aren't they? That's unfortunate. Local gang clash. No, we're going to use manpower and command power. Send in the police. We do have a decent amount of oil, though. So adding mechanized forces is not going to be the worst thing we could do if we go that route. I want to say... this would give us access to Central America. We have plenty of political power. I'm going to do that. We're going to see if they request anything. June 26th. Okay, so I actually have an objective I need to be aware of. Let's go ahead and send... This is rough that I can't... Can I not put forces here? I'm gonna manually walk them over and we'll see what happens. I think these 3 units should be enough. Yeah. Look at the attrition we took. We lost a lot of experience in our forces. Alright, let's check what our rail lines do look like. So we are going to connect these, not really in like the most efficient way, but yeah, I definitely need to work on at least our border supplies. It kind of naturally leads you to build supply hubs in certain spots. Like right there, obvious one. Right there. This could be a naval facility. And we'll need to upgrade rail lines just so we can get better infrastructure and productivity growth. Yeah, we're losing our nuclear fuel stockpile as well. That's kind of crazy. Keep investment going. I'm gonna keep bumping that up. Every little bit is going to help going forward because we're gonna increase our expenses exponentially very quickly. It's going to be a rapid shift. All right, so early robotics. These are all factory output on this right side, even though I do need them for certain things like drones and other advanced tech. I'm going to go for the workforce changes. Our industry is about to spiral out of control once we integrate Venezuela. They're not fighting back, so that's going to happen quick. And let's go ahead and pay off some debt. Try and push our debt below $1 trillion. Our interest will keep lowering as our interest rate goes down too, as our GDP output grows. Yeah, resistance, that'll stop being a problem soon. Just keep combating foreign influence now. All right. I don't know when we joined Unisil, but we did somehow. Hmm. Yeah, I don't see any temporary benefits. That's good. You know, we're still falling behind the global average of productivity overall. I can't tell if that's because of the new territories we accrued from Venezuela. Who is in control now? Julio Borges? I don't know how a Spanish G might be pronounced. Alright, we're gonna have to use an agent to rescue whichever one got captured. The Brazilian lady was, or the one in Brazil, she got captured. Oh, no. We'll go ahead and just rescue her. And 200. I mean, we're getting 5.5 to 6. Autonomy reductions. So you're looking at what, like a month now? A little more than a month. And we'll be able to integrate all these territories. Trinidad and Tobago. They're improving their diplomatic relations. They've got the Maldives coming. Is that Ukraine? Unfortunate. I'm losing an oil trading partner. We're actually short equipment. Small arms in a utility vehicle. With one of the divisions. Or all of them, actually, if you look. Alright, so I'm going to keep paying down debt here till I reach my goal of being under $1 trillion again. Yeah, and our interest on debt is going down. So we'd get another 800 million if I had no debt. That would be nice. Yeah, I think I'm going to permanently suspend elections. Alright, we're going to take advantage of the geopolitical situation. We're going for the full-on assault. Yeah, I don't really care about war wariness. You look at this combat, what are we fighting against? A 40 defense. Yeah, so they're just gonna get worn down, but they do actually have some good bonuses there. Night attack, that would be some good research for us, is to get night attack reductions removed. Yeah, and they only have 6 combat width. That's like a unit. It's very strong, actually. I guess it's fully entrenched. Alright, that's over. We're gonna go ahead and puppet. Alright. Okay, so that should be oil. Trying to think if there's... Yeah, I just really need Panama. Alright, we'll go ahead and get the annexation done of Venezuela. That timing is pretty good. Let's go ahead and cancel all those builds. Colombia is now a very large and prominent state. Roads are built. Didn't mean to do that. I didn't work on air bases and radar. Strategic fuel reserves. And we can go from there. I'm not going to worry about like very quickly getting this stuff built. So we'll just use the 13 factories to work on that as we continue adding to our factory stacks. Do I have more? It looks like I have more military production now. I'm gonna keep working on that with small arms for these divisions we have. We're gonna need much bigger stockpiles. Dockyards. Go ahead and bump convoys down. I'm not gonna start any shipbuilding machinations. Alright, let's see what our current resources are. I guess I'll look at that from the trade view since the tags are broken. We have a lot of precious metals and steel, not a lot of tech metals, and not a lot of rubber. But we do have light metals. Now, so airplanes and IFVs are going to be hard to make without tech metals or rubber. Tech metals can come from Peru and Ecuador. Rubber is pretty much Asia until we take Brazil. And it's only from Asia. So, with that in mind, we are going to have to trade. So, we'll work on that once we get a better infrastructure built out. I'm going to move these motorized units into some of these other divisions. Looks like I've got 2 more infantry units. We'll add those there. Attack bonus. Oh, I got a second attack bonus. Nice. Iran and Yemen. This was an unexpected war. I guess that's a Axis thing, is they're trying to destabilize Yemen. Okay. Yeah, this added a bunch of new templates we can work with. I wonder if I can order these. Can I just... Nice. Yeah, so this is like our primary unit. Everything else I need to like actually update and maintain in some form or fashion. Boats. What do we have for boats? I'm gonna move all of these into a singular Navy group here. We have frigates. We have like a lot of 1980s frigates. And some attack subs. Early research right now on synthetic life. High-speed rail, we'll go ahead and just get the train research done. I'm gonna go ahead and subsidize those businesses because we have extra money. That's fine. Ooh. What? Oh, wow. Okay, I was not expecting to get that much money. Venezuela is sitting on all that oil money. I mean, we've been selling cocaine, but apparently oil is much better. All right, I think I can say I've used up pretty much everything I want. Yeah, so I spent $1 trillion, and that boosted our international investment income up by like $1 billion per week. So it is worth it. And this is what I was saying is like here, where's the choice? It's here. Yeah. Would it have been better to go for this? Probably. This was more beneficial immediately. But I do like the office build speed, even though I don't know what the application will be. We'll find out. All right. Naval dominance of 238 here, and I can launch attacks from right here. So we're going to base everything out of Caribe, or not. How can we not use... Does it have a different name? Like... Miranda Bolivar. This is Zulia. Pacifico. Maybe I'm not. Hold up. I don't know what's going on there. Some weirdness. Let's go ahead and push this to max with naval bases. I want to see what it populates as. It's listed as Caribe. Okay. Up to 8 headquarters can have an admiral assigned. Assign an admiral to increase effectiveness of task forces operating within range of the naval headquarters. Okay. This is... Yeah, Barranquilla is right here. Or Barranquilla. Assign a commander, so we'll just get one of these admirals. Carrier targeting... Nah, we're gonna use Torpedo Dude. Oh wow, that's a very large area. Alright, we'll set these submarines as strike forces so that they're not expending as much fuel. But that is going to be expensive. And we'll let that increase. Gonna go ahead and push on the autonomy. Looks like we got a military factory freed up. Don't think there's any equipment we're missing. So I'm just gonna boost certain things that we have some deficits on. And we'll just work from that. Nice. Yeah, we've got good production now. We're starting to snowball from that standpoint. Let's move off the naval aspect. Panama itself. I think our agents are free, so get some intel here. We are going to try and install in Brazil too. Ecuador and Peru and Guyana. Go ahead. We'll pause Brazil and we'll pause Guyana for now. Oh, nice. Under $1 trillion in debt now. That's pretty cool. And Colombia being highly aggressive under Augustine Bolivian, or something like that. The dark days of Colombia. All right, let's look. It's 2013, so America should have had a couple of elections. Mitt Romney. Oh man, look at that nice construction speed bonus he gives you. It's pretty nice. China. All right, so it did crash. I'm trying to figure out where I am. I just moved my navy around, so that already happened. All right, let's slow it down a little, but I'll keep it going. Yeah, that already happened. And I moved my agents. Yep, agents got moved, so I don't think it's too far back. I don't know what happened, but it did crash. Um, so this is armored experience gain. This gives you a brigade size bonus of +2. And in combat with reduction of 25%, along with movement speed, like attack reductions for org loss. Seems ridiculous. Let's go ahead and take that. I'm gonna start working on these additional food related choices as we are approaching 2014. Yeah, so let's look here. I should probably work on aircraft design. Yeah, so let's go ahead and start work on aircraft design. That's going to be our biggest weakness. We'll go ahead and assign the corporation to it. And I'm going to bump the speed up. Hopefully I don't crash again. I am going to splice this into the end of the last episode. So this is where it's going to end. Power. Sell them for scrap. We're going to go with the productivity growth, even though it's really small. I'm going to assign a scientist for the Navy here. So I'm still not sure that naval invasions have been fixed. We're about to find out. Recruitment. We're going to go ahead and get air assault just in case. I want 3 being made. And let's go ahead and check the ledger. All right, so looking at the economy, we have moved up into the front page and solidified our spot. Territory-wise, I'm sure we're like this right here, 15. Industry. Go ahead and order it. 73. So we've got a few more factories. Navy, Air Force, Army, they're just going to be pretty back. Logistics. Again, we don't have any armored units. We don't have really the resources we need. We also don't have a lot of aircraft. And we probably need to get something like 50,000 small arms stockpile built up for what we want to do next. So, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch everyone on the next episode. And y'all have a good one.